My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Wilhockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Say, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
When my husband and I said until death do us part, I never expected to find myself at the doorstep of divorce. I was facing an uncertain financial future, expensive lawyer bills, and most importantly, I was concerned for the well-being of my kids. My spouse and I turned to Fairway Divorce Solutions for help. Fairway walked us through a step-by-step process, allowing us to develop a clear roadmap to resolve financial concerns and provide a proactive co-parenting strategy. It helped us avoid chaos and courtrooms.
For a no-cost consultation, visit fairwaydivorce.com.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the VLT of savings until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power. But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. From the big mall in the west to the Arena District downtown, Edmonton is beautiful. But when I see your lawns, I know one thing's for certain. Weeds are coming. Be proactive and take advantage of our early bird savings until April 30th.
Green Drop has been Canada's lawn expert since 1979. And they're in your community, keeping your yard looking beautiful with affordable lawn care packages that include fertilizer, weed control, drought fighter, and more. Visit greendrop.com.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Well, welcome to the Lowdown. I don't know what that was. Oilers have a chance to change the verbal surrounding the team tonight in the shadow of Disneyland. Can they do it? I say yes. The Oilers just have to stop being careless with the puck, and they're a little old to be making blind back passes in the defensive zone. That's my opinion. Lowdown is brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's Truck Month, featuring their best deals of the year. Ask about 0% financing plus extra discounts for Costco members. WolfGMCBuick.com. As you know, we are live on YouTube and Sports 1440 AM radio, online at iHeartRadio, Radio Player Canada, and sports1440.ca. Our headliner of the day at 1 o'clock today is Steve Lansky. We have declinations. We're going to talk all about the Edmonton Oilers. We're going to talk about the NFL draft, some surprises. It was an interesting first round, some real surprises, and we'll check down on that as well. Lots on the Oilers, lots about Connor McDavid. I'm going to read you a tweet that went out a little bit, maybe half an hour ago, that I saw from Megan Chayka that is going to impress you, I believe. It's fact-based, and it does draw a conclusion, which this show tries to do, but is often unable to do. It's time for the introductions. If he were a television character, it would be the Doctor in Doctor Who, because he approaches impossible issues daily, like this show, and solves them using his giant brain. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick, everybody.
I do have a giant brain, don't I?
Have you ever had your IQ checked or your aptitude checked?
No, actually, I haven't done any of that. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to really look at that 87. They'll stare me back in the face, and I'll be like, "Man, that is tough. I was wrong about everything."
You go through life confident, you'll be a much happier individual.
Tough to disagree with you there.
If he were a television character, it would be Stewie from Family Guy, because he has a large vocabulary, highbrow verbal, and he has big baby energy, just like me. Ladies and gentlemen, Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger, everybody.
No objections there. Once again, you
great
nailed
character,
it. Man, if like I'm telling you, these intros, you do well.
Well, I try hard, and I would never say that you have big baby energy unless I also have been called out for that, and Karen does that daily. So you and I are absolutely twins on the big baby energy.
We're peas in a pod, man.
Right.
Like, you want to talk about Gramps and grandson.
Oh my God. It's all about me with me in mind. You know, that's my show. I'll cry if I want to.
And Josh's nephew, Kyle.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. That's all right.
I don't really watch the show.
No. Nephew Kyle is a guy that works at a different sports media company.
Who is
just Kyle now?
What's the daughter's name in Family Guy?
Meg.
Why are they so mean to
You know
her?
what? I there's actually a reason for that. So Seth MacFarlane, he's came out in interviews and he said basically that the entire writer's room, like at the inception of the show, was a bunch of middle-aged men who didn't know how to write for a teenage girl. So they just had the characters be mean to her as like a comic relief.
Okay. The Monty Python, John Cleese said, they said, why don't you, why aren't there any women? And he said, nobody is smart enough here to write women. They're like, men are more predictable in what they're going to say. And nobody could do it. Here's what I'm going to say about the game tonight. I think there's going to be tweaks in the lineup. I don't know that that's a great idea, although Savoy checking down to the line, say the third line, I would be okay with, because he has good chem with Roslovic and Samansky, and then you could move Nuge up. But a coach who is forced to rely on Connor McDavid and Evan Bouchard to break out of a 2-game spell is the most blessed coach on earth. I think tonight you're going to see a lot of Connor McDavid and Evan Bouchard doing very good things. Megan Chayka, who's wicked smart, smarter than Josh. That's how smart she is. She tweeted out 3 hours ago, Connor McDavid, 0 points in 2 games. That only happened once this season, January 20th and 26th. It has not been for a lack of creating opportunities. He has 20 shot assists in 2 games, 10 per game, is tied with his draft mate, Jack Eichel. McDavid also has 4 passes to the slot per game. This is a great hockey player. And now, as we always see him, he sets his jaw and he goes, to hell with this noise, and then he impacts the game. That's what we're sitting on, a story tonight. And I'm going to talk about it. These 2 young men are going to talk about it. Jason's going to talk about it at 2. Andrew Walker on the pregame show is going to start at 6 o'clock. He'll talk about it. This is a sleeping giant. And good for Anaheim. Good for them. They game planned, and they got the home ice. There's just no way McDavid will score any point. Oh, wait a minute. It's Connor McDavid. That's the story tonight. I would be remiss and careless if I didn't tell you. That's the theme tonight. And you can say, well, you're putting too much pressure on him. Go to hell. Connor McDavid is the best player in the world, fastest player in the world. He has not played well by any stretch, certainly by his own stretch. Whenever Connor McDavid has something to prove, what does he do? He does it. That's the story tonight, along with the special teams. And I do think they need better goaltending on special teams. 5-on-5, they've been fine, but they need less Kevlar bounces from Connor Ingram. And I think they get that tonight. Boys, what have you got to say about the game tonight?
Yeah, listen, I picked the Oilers to win in 4. They've lost a game, so that is mathematically impossible. I will now be picking them to win in 5. If they lose tonight, I will pick them to win in 6. And if they lose that, I will pick them to win in 7. I think
what happens if they lose that one?
We're going to have a conversation, and I'm going to have some narratives that I'm going to jump into, and no one in the city is going to like them.
Let me just ask. You picked them in 4, but you didn't say which 4.
Well, I appreciate the get out of jail free card you've given me there. I'll stand 10 toes down on it. I didn't think Anaheim was going to take a game. I also didn't think Evan Bouchard was going to look as bad as he's looked, and that Connor McDavid was going to be held scoreless in 2 games. And quite bluntly, to have Connor McDavid be held scoreless in 2 games where he played one of the worst games we've ever seen, and to have Evan Bouchard playing as bad, or to have Evan Bouchard playing the way he's playing, I'll say that, to be tied 1-1, maybe a bit of a blessing in disguise. But I think they go in there tonight. The over-under for Connor McDavid's point total, 1.5. I just think he smashes it. I think we're looking at a 3-4 point night. I don't buy, credit to Anaheim and Coach Q for rolling 4 lines against McDavid and feeling comfortable with the defensive matchups when they have it. I just think this is such a game where he really takes over, steps on the gas a little bit. Others need to step up too. It's not just all on him, but it does start and end with him. I think we're looking at a big win here. 5-6-1 offensive thrashing in Anaheim's barn. Really, really confident going into this one.
Draisaitl's line is 4-2. They've done well.
Best line so far in the playoffs, no question. Yeah. Even with Draisaitl's rust.
I still think you're just again, this is not a beer league team that rolled off the streets and was like, oh my God, we're playing the Oilers in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Ducks are a good team. They have a winning record. They were in control of the Pacific.
Only team in the Pacific to have a winning record this year.
Obviously they hit that skid a little coming into the playoffs here, but then they sort of, picked it up. I think it's going to be closer than you're saying it's going to be. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Whatever.
He picked them in 4. So
I know.
Yeah.
So, but there's nothing that I've seen so far has suggested to me that the Ducks are only going to put 1 goal on the board. If anything, I see this being a 4-3 something, and that would be the lowest scoring bout so far.
That's fair.
It's the special teams. The Oilers are going to get off the schneid. You can say that in there, okay?
Yeah.
On the power play, and they're going to be better. The shorthanded goal, it continues to irritate me because I'm 11 years into watching McDavid, Draisaitl, and that play still happening, and there's nothing you can do. At some point in time, you are who you are. You just are. You're 11 years into your career and you're still back passing blind and it ends up in the back of your net. Is our children learning? In some ways they're not, but if you're going to be overly critical of that play, you have to overlook the mountain of good that Connor McDavid does. And so, is he going to be the greatest 2-way player in history? No, but he might be the best player in history, even with what he does that is a little bit reckless. And that's the way it is. All right. So have we all said what we want to say about the Oilers? Because I've got a second question in this segment I want to get to.
I just wanted to dovetail really, really quickly off of Josh's point about and I'm big on not always looking to 5-on-5, even though the majority of the game is played there, because special teams are very much part of the game, and full credit to Anaheim. They have taken advantage of special teams. Edmonton has not. But despite that, and despite being a guy who's not a 5-on-5 through and through guru, special teams still does correct itself, especially with a power play as elite as Edmonton's penalty kill. That's a different discussion maybe for later in the show. But that's why, when Anaheim's special teams aren't firing like that, I don't think they will fire to that efficiency. That's where I kind of come back to earth with the Oilers, and that's why I kind of come out with the 6-1, 5-1 game.
Regression is a thing, and we're going to see it tonight. I'm fairly certain. Okay, let's talk NFL draft. Mendoza goes 1, David Bailey 2, Jeremiah Love at 3, Carnell Tate 4, and then Arvel Reese to the Giants at 5. How much of that was a surprise, and how upset I should be, or should I be, that an edge rusher goes to the Giants at 5?
Well, all right. So a couple things here. I was really surprised to see Jared. First of all, David Bailey at 2. He's a great player. He was obviously one of the top edge rushing prospects for a reason. I just think Arvel Reese is better, man. I think he's a little bit more versatile. I think you can play him as an off-ball linebacker. That's exactly.
Are you saying the Jets made a mistake?
Listen, I'm not an NFL GM for a reason, but if I am betting against the Jets, that's probably a pretty safe bet to make, right? I was really surprised to see Jeremiah Love go number 3 to the Cardinals. I don't think he's a phenomenal player. Don't get me wrong. He's about to get $50 million guaranteed money, largest ever for a running back. What I thought was funny about that was that he's off the board. The Titans were like, well, we wanted an offensive skill guy. I guess we'll just take Carnell Tate. It seems like they didn't deviate from their draft plan at all in that respect, just position. And then Arvel at number 5 to the Giants, I kind of felt to a degree the steal of the draft, even though it was obviously very early.
5 years from now, if we redraft, Reese is higher?
I think so. Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Right.
I'm really, really high on
If you redraft him 5 years, would he be number 1 overall?
We'll have to see what Mendoza does. But the other thing is, I watch more college football than anybody, right? I watch this guy up close week in, week out on big noon kickoff, so I know what he brings to the table.
And then it goes Delane to the Chiefs, Styles to Washington. You mentioned him yesterday. Tyson, who broke down the wideout, he goes to New Orleans, and then it's Fano and Magoa. Anybody in there that was a shock or a surprise?
No, I mean, like, that's all pretty chalk, I think. Like, man, Kansas City trading up for they had to address their cornerback, losing obviously Trent and Jaden there. Other than that, like, I don't know if you needed to trade from 9 to 6 to get him. I think he probably still would have been on the board there, but credit to him. Yeah, Jordan Tyson, a lot of people thought he was the best wide receiver. Saints get a weapon for Tyler Shaw. Sonny Styles, great play. Yeah, no, I think that was all pretty chalk. Not to be boring with it. I wish I could have a hot take here, but I think that was all pretty as it was supposed to go.
That's right. We're about to get there.
So then we go into 11 Downs, Proctor 12, Simpson 13. I only whenever Baltimore takes a guard or any kind of lineman, my eyebrows raise.
Hey, he was the best interior offensive lineman in the draft, by the way.
Yeah, and not surprised. And then Bain, anything in there that was surprising?
Well, I know Josh wants to talk about Ty Simpson, so I'll let him do that. Really quick though, Caleb Downs at 11. Again, I think that's such a steal. Little undersized, but just turn on the tape. Guy's amazing.
Hate Dallas.
Ty Simpson to the this has been this was basically talked about ad nauseum last hour with Connor and Brandon, but I understand it from both points of view. The Rams are like, Matthew Stafford is only getting older. We have to find our quarterback of the future. Flip side, you're the Los Angeles Rams. You're probably going to be able to sign someone, trade for someone, whatever. Like, I think it's fine. The fact that you did not draft an impact player with this gift of a 13th overall pick is what's the word? Psychotic. That's the word I'm
May I just interject here and take a moment out of your day and ruin it?
Sure.
Is this an example of what Lowetide has been asking for forever?
No, this is absolutely what you've been asking
for. Early, and then you bring him along like you know what you're doing.
But the real question is Ty Simpson that guy?
Yeah, I don't think he is either. To take him when Ruben Bain was still on the board.
Exactly. Like, there are other impact players that you could have taken at the time because you keep losing in the playoffs and your goal is to win a Super Bowl and you say,
So Alabama quarterback sucks, you're saying?
Well, I didn't say sucks. I just said
worst quarterback on the draft board, and they took him.
He was drafted way higher than he should have been drafted.
Okay,
but they were talking about him being like a second round.
What did they see that they liked though? There has to be something. These guys don't just do it to win a bet. Although
he's got good size, he's got arm strength, but he doesn't exactly have touch. He's kind of, I don't want to say he was bailed out by Alabama's offensive system, but it didn't hurt him.
Yeah, and you can't teach touch, right? Like Peyton Manning was born that way.
Yeah, like you can't teach that type of touch. You can definitely train your touch bet. Like, touch is one of the things that, like, your touch on passes, if you don't have it, it's really, really evident.
And if we say touch one more time, HR is coming down the hallway. So let's move on to Kenyon Sadiq, Blake Miller, Caleb Banks, Monroe Freeling, and I definitely want to talk about Mekhi Lemon, wideout going to 20 to the Eagles who traded up to get him. What do you like in that group?
Love Kenyon Sadiq. Obviously, he played at Oregon. He was the clear number 1 tight end on the board. He did go to the Jets, though, so that's never that fun. Blake Miller, was surprised to see him go that high. Caleb Banks as well. Monroe Freeling, really good player, big name program, not as much tape out there on him. And then Mekhi Lemon, I'll let you talk about him because that is a heck of a receiver.
You want me to talk about him?
Sorry,
just what I read about him is exceptional. They say that like he's pretty smooth, he's pretty finished as a player. He's average in size, but everything else about him, he's got the dog in him, as you kids say.
He might even be a little small.
Did we tell the story?
What story?
About Malachi Lemon getting drafted.
No.
He was on the phone with the Steelers. They were about to draft him.
I know they were going to draft him.
And then the Eagles were like, hold on a second here. We're getting rid of A.J. Brown. We need another wide receiver. So they trade up to the pick in front of the Steelers. He's on the phone with Pittsburgh.
Well, they shouldn't have called him.
And then he's like, why is Philly calling me? And his agent goes, dude, they're drafting you. They just traded up.
I love it. See, now this is the kind of cross-state rivalry I can get into.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the Steelers win everything my whole life. I like that the Eagles are winning Super Bowls now and getting their guy.
Now, were the Eagles just juiced up because of what the Flyers are doing to the Penguins? They're like, we need to get in on this action.
Well, maybe, but, they didn't draft a left winger. They drafted a wideout, and I hope he's okay. All right.
Equivalency.
How do I pronounce the name of the offensive tackle that Pittsburgh took? Max?
Yeah, Ihinachur.
Okay, thank you. Akeem Mesidor, Malachi Lawrence, Casey Concepcion, and Dylan Thinneman all go 20 to 25, including a Bears pick. What do you think of that group?
Max is like it. That Steelers story is so funny because you can tell that's such a panic pick. Malachi Lawrence is what he went higher than I thought he was going to be. He thought he was going to be a second round guy, as did many mock drafts. He goes to Dallas. And then KC Concepcion, great. He's got a stutter, like a really prominent stutter. Never lets it slow him down. Like
love him. Love that guy.
What's the problem with that?
He gets in front of the mic and he like vouches for kids with his stutter. Like he seems like such a good dude through and through.
Already overcome a lot.
A guy, like a guy you really want to root for. Sucks he went to Cleveland. He's going to be a great Kansas City Chief in 4 years. But he's a heck of a player. Then Dylan Thieneman, Oregon kid as well. So watched him a lot. Probably was the best safety in the draft.
Okay.
Definitely, actually.
Any comments there, young man?
I have no comments.
Okay. 26 to the end. Rutledge to the Texans. Chris Johnson to Miami. Caleb Lomu to New England. Peter Woods to KC. Omar Cooper Jr. to the Jets, who had 11 picks in the first round. Keldrick Falk. Edge rusher to Tennessee, and the Jadarian Price, running back from Notre Dame, goes at number 32 to the Seahawks, who have been unusual in their behavior regarding running backs in the last while.
Yeah, how about that? 2 running backs from Notre Dame in the first round. Also, if you're Jadarian Price going to Seattle, you're just like, okay, so even if I win Super Bowl MVP, I'm out at the end of my rookie deal. Like that doesn't exactly instill confidence.
But he'll get his biggest payday might be this year, right? Like
it very well might.
But he might also not. How can they sign him when he doesn't get that many touchdowns? Charbonnet has to get those red zone touches. He just has to.
That's true.
So
Peter Woods, by the way, just really quickly before we wrap it up, he had an unreal 24 coming into this season. People thought he was going to go like top 5. Potential for a steal there for the Chiefs.
After the break, we're going to do rumors, and I'm going to ask you both, what players still on the board do you expect to go in the top 2 or 3 picks in our round number 2? Okay. On the way, we're going to talk Oilers, we're going to talk NFL draft, and much more. Don't forget, we've got Lansky at 1 o'clock and Declinations coming up at 12:40. What is the subject at hand today?
We are going to be doing our top 5 hot seats so far through the NBA and NHL playoffs. Could be players, could be coaches, could be organizations, could be general managers. Just top 5 hot seats.
Well, it's not the 76ers. They won a game. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
Welcome back to Nissan Head to Head. Today, we've got Nissan Kicks coming in strong as a leader in fuel efficiency for gas-only CUVs. Some of the other guys respond with a wallet-breaking detour to the pumps. Hats off to Nissan's fuel-efficient Japanese engineering.
Right now, finance a Nissan Kicks for 0% for 36 months. Visit Nissan.ca for details. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
The heartbeat of sports. The fans. This is Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Driven by Wolf GMC Buick.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. We're also on YouTube and all the other places. Lovely day today. I tried a new shampoo today. My hair came out quite fluffy. I did comb it, but it's windy out there. So if it's a little flyaway today, and no, I don't wear a toupee, I do apologize. Josh got his haircut. Good haircut. How are we doing on the hair? Are you going to Europe to get plugs, or what's going on there?
I think I'm going to bald it.
I think that's very, it's a good look, man.
You're so brave.
Just shave it all.
I think I'm going to pull it off too.
Yeah, just shave it all.
Are you doing it this summer so you can get a nice little tan up top?
I think I'm doing it this weekend.
And you've got some swagger to you. So I think you're going to no hair, big swagger. That's going to be your nickname.
Yeah, it's kind of a, weird thing to say about oneself, but I actually do agree.
Yeah. No, I think you can carry that.
Until you actually shave your head, I'm not going to believe you because you've been talking about this for as long as I've known you.
That's fair.
This is the guy who always goes, when you're thinking about doing something dumb on a Friday night when you're out, you want to, you got to watch Josh. I don't believe you until you do it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sort of egging you on.
Yeah,
but most of the time, I'm also that's dumb. Don't do it. But I also want to see you do it.
But his girl says it's fine. That's the key.
Exactly.
Nobody else matters. We're all fluff pieces,
What about me? What about what I want?
Dude, I can't wait to see the light shining off your chrome dome while we're on air here.
I still wear a hat all the time.
I will make positive comments. I will not make a negative comment. Gregor looks great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Pulls it off.
Jason Statham.
But you know what? It's
kind of my inspo.
You just have to get used to it. It's like a ripple in the water. You ever see a rain barrel when one drop of water hits? It's like ripple, and then it goes away, and everybody's like, "Oh, okay, that's the new normal."
It's also bald looks so much better than balding.
My dad had a comb over all of my childhood, and it didn't look. Everybody knew he didn't have a lot of hair. But what are you going to do? It's your dad. All right, it's time for Rumors, brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. Yes, we do things that are not quite sports today, and one of them is, personal improvement. I don't think there's any problem with that. Game 3, Edmonton Oilers tonight. I'm going to predict right now, we're going to see a little bit of a tweak on the lines and pairings. I have not seen them yet. So if they're out, then I haven't seen them. I'm going to tell you what I think they're going to look like. Okay, you ready? McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Zach Hyman. The Draisaitl style line stays the same with Podkolzin and Kasperi Kapanen. The third line, Szymanski, and he'll go with Savoy and Roslovic. And then the fourth line will be the twin towers of Fury on the wings, Trent Frederick and Colton Dach. And then I suspect Jason Dickinson would be on that line, if not Curtis Lazar. I think you put Dickinson on the fourth line, which could easily turn into the third line in terms of minutes. I think they'll dress him because I believe they will need him if they're going to move Nuge to left wing. You've got to have another veteran there. As good as Szymanski has looked. I mean, he really has looked exceptional. I don't think they'll change anything on defense. Obviously, they're going to go as much as they can with Connor Ingram in goal. Mark Spector reporting no Radka Gudas tonight. you know, his foot speed is by sundial now. I didn't realize until game one of this series he's slow, man. He's a house on the side of the road, man. Elliot Friedman, 32 Thoughts, suggesting Maple Leafs GM search Ryan Martin from the Rangers was informed he is not advancing further. They're looking at interesting places. I will give that to them. What's the hardest job? Is it harder to be Prime Minister or GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Oh, come on.
What's
GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's more unforgiving.
Awesome. It's a hot seat. You know you're going to get fired. You know that.
That's like 90% of what coaching is, though. Like, it's not, or general managership in this instance. It's not if, it's when.
Yeah, very true.
Except for very rare cases.
Okay, Bills go number 3 in round 2. I know you're a Bills fan. The Bengals go number 9 in round 2. And I know you're a Bengals fan. So of the group that are left over in the draft, the ones that are, hey now, they're still available. Who do you like and who are you surprised is still there?
Yeah, so the 3 guys I think, or I'm surprised Jermod McCoy's still there. I thought he'd be a first rounder for sure. I wanted him to fall to Buffalo at that 26 spot. Obviously, they traded out of that twice. So Jermod McCoy still being there is one. TJ Parker, edge rusher out of Clemson, that's another. And then I would probably say Avion Terrell, just because corner I think is a valuable position. You can never have enough of them. Funny enough, out of Clemson as well. The guy I'm kind of looking at, I'm curious where he's going to go. He was the Butkus Award winner last year. He was 5th in Heisman voting. And he was the leader and the staple of that Texas Tech defense. That's where David Bailey, the number 2 overall pick, was from. Jacob Rodriguez, I'm really, really curious to see where he's going to go as well.
Okay. Do you have any names?
I agree with him about Jermod McCoy. In this mock draft, he's slated to go 2nd this round. I was
surprised he didn't go.
Isn't his comp Christian Gonzalez?
Yeah, he's a little smaller, I think, but yeah,
that's right around there. Yeah, good player for those of you that don't remember. So that's really one, and then obviously in this mock draft, Avion Terrell is slated to go to my Bengals at the 9th pick. So
you'd be happy with that?
I mean, we need defense. They already made a trade for Dexter Lawrence, so
you also need an offensive line.
Yes.
So,
however,
plenty of places to get that.
Pregnon. That's his name, right? That's the name I'd be looking for if Terrell goes and he's still on the board. That's an offensive guard. I'd take him.
Okay. Apparently, the 49ers are open to trading down. The 49ers, Cardinals, and Bills own the first 3 picks. I only really follow the Eagles, and when Howie trades up, I assume the player is a great one. Like he said, but don't you think? Let me ask you this, because in hockey, I wrote a book about the draft, and when you see over like a period of 25 years, there's just a lot of luck in getting it right. There just is. But in football, in the NFL, these guys are kind of fully formed, except for the quarterback taken in the mid-teens this year by the Rams. But these guys are like plug and play for the most part, right? Like even in the second round, you're getting a plug and play guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
less so, but yeah. Like, this is the thing. Like, everyone who's drafted in the first round was really, 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 really good in college. Most guys in the second round, too. Less so plug and play, but yeah.
No. What was the biggest surprise for you in the first round? Like, the biggest one?
Ty Simpson at 13 was pretty shocking.
Okay.
You're like, I know Matt Stafford's older, but your quarterback won MVP last year, and you're kind of very much in a Super Bowl window, and you didn't make any of the immediate 22 starters better.
And you bought a guy who is going to, under my recommendation, I'm assuming the Rams listen to the show, you're going to bring him along like the Green Bay Packers do.
Well, that's kind of the plan, but here's the other thing. Like, how is Ty, like, listen, if that's the plan, sure, whatever, that's fine. Did you need to use the 13th pick to take him?
They liked him a lot.
Maybe a little too much.
Well, that's the thing. We'll find out. They made the move.
Well, we'll find out in 2 years or whatever. That's what Stafford's new deal is, right? He's got 2 more years left. Then he'll be done.
Well, what if he's brilliant in 2 years?
If he's brilliant in 2 years, then he's going to get another contract. Like that's unless he decides to retire. I mean, he's got back problems, So, and that was very evident this year in training camp. We didn't think maybe he was going to be the Matt Stafford of old. Obviously, he proved us all wrong because he was the best quarterback in football. So, what do I know? I just sit here and talk about sports.
All right. We're going to check down to baseball now, and I'm going to ask a question to you, Josh, personally.
Sure.
Should the Blue Jays move on from Jeff Hoffman as closer?
Yeah.
And who should they pick?
Louis Varland.
Okay.
I think he, obviously right now he's got a 0 ERA still, I believe. He just seems more calm and composed when he comes to the mound. And I get that, like, you need him for those middle innings, whatever. And you got Jeff Hoffman to be your closer, but he's just so wishy-washy. Whereas Louis Varland is the guy that I think we've all sort of looked at as John Schneider's security blanket. I mean, he pitched in every game of the Jays playoff run this year. Yeah. Like, obviously there's something there that he wants. And he's the only guy in the bullpen, I think, that reaches over 100 miles an hour on his pitches. Like, that seems like a relatively valuable guy to have, especially when you see the success someone like Mason Miller is having. I'm not saying Louis Varland is Mason Miller, but like comparable, big cheese coming out of the bullpen to finish out a game, get you final 3 outs. Like, I think Varland should be the one that comes into that spot.
Mason Miller hasn't given up an earned run since August.
He gave up an earned run yesterday, I believe. His ERA changed.
No.
Yeah. I swear I just saw that. He came in to close yesterday and he gave up an earned run.
He gave up a hit.
I thought he gave up a run.
No.
Okay.
Well, look it up.
Okay.
Then you can confirm I'm correct.
I know he's on your fantasy team.
Well, I watched the game, so unless I stroked out, and that is a
unless
possibility.
You stroked out. Hey, fair enough. Keeping a reliever too, I heard you kept him.
Well, because I just thought this is nuts, and I was so unsure of the other relievers in the league. I drafted John Duran in the 2nd round or something.
Nice.
I got 2 good closers. I got Duran.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, no, we're on Duran.
Hey, Lowetide, the comb over was epic in its era, went along with the smell of Brute or Old Spice cologne and Royal Pine hanging from the mirror. Oh, doctor, with the 8-track and CCR's greatest hits. Oh, the band.
The text line's calling for you to be Homer Simpson, Declan. How does that make you feel?
Shoe goes on. Shoe goes off.
What does that mean?
A comb over?
It's kind of what I'm rocking right now a little bit. Not quite.
No,
not quite.
Not a classic comb over.
No. But
no. I mean, my dad, honest to God, did you ever see René Levesque? My dad was like that. René, right above his right, temple, and he would comb that sucker all the way over to his left temple. My dad was almost there. I love my dad. He was a very good man. You got to give it up. He was a good, fine man in almost every way, and hair made no difference to his sons. The Copenhagen was a bit much, but other than that, it was all good. All right, declinations on the way. What are we looking at today, boys?
Our top 5 hot seats so far in the playoffs.
Okay, NBA and NHL?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look forward to that. I think I have some candidates. We'll see if you guys can confirm. Lowdown with Lowetide, Monday through Friday, noon to 2, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. Use code 1440 for 15% off at notalonecode.com. It's okay to not be okay.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in 3s. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Camping on a long weekend without a Toyota Tacoma can feel
crowded. But when you get a Tacoma during Red Tag days, you can take advantage of its powerful iForce engine and rugged capability to find a better site. Take advantage of Red Tag days on now. Lease a 2026 Tacoma 4x4 double cab SR5 from $110 weekly for 60 months at 5.49% APR with $6,899 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
The Lawnmower Hospital. Spring is here, and your lawn knows it. Get the professional grade cut your home deserves with Toro. The Lawnmower Hospital has the right Toro for the job, from the residential Toro Super Recycler to the high-performance zero-turn tractor for those larger properties. Shop now for exclusive spring discounts or 0% financing for 36 months on select units. Beat the rush and get your Toro in for service today. Visit lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. 1237. Another beautiful spring weekend just around the corner. A reminder, we have Jason Krueger at 2 o'clock to help tee up the game. Andrew Walker at 6 with the pregame show. And, of course, after the game as well, as we kickstart the weekend with a lot of talk about the Edmonton Oilers and other things happening in the world of sports. It is time for Declinations, brought to you by Fairway Divorce Solutions, the clear road to a new life. There is a better way. Fairwaydivorce.com. Sir.
Let's jump into it. Top 5 hot seats so far in the playoffs. Also, Tony Brar had the lines and pairings.
Okay.
If we want to run through those.
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead.
All right.
Real quick.
Yeah. So top
perfect.
line, McDavid is going to be centering. Zach Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
I said that.
You did. Makes a heck of a lot of sense. That second line is obviously staying as is. Been the best line. Draisaitl centering Podkolzin and Kapanen. Savoy is going to be with Szymanski and Roslovic.
I said that.
Hey, you know a thing or two. Do you want to hand up? You know a thing or two? Say it.
I know a thing or two.
At fourth line, Lazar centering Doc and Frederick, and then D pairings as expected. Ingram in the starters now.
I don't mind any of those things because Savoy can flourish there. And now if Nuge and McDavid and Hyman are stale still, then they got to check back up. But I think it's fine.
I don't love Savoy, Szymanski, and Roslovic on paper, but you know. Whatever.
Well, they scored a goal the other
night.
Yeah,
no, I know. That's why I said I don't love him on paper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think we'll go back and forth for this one. Josh, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Yeah, I'll start. All right. So top 5 hot seats in the playoffs. My number 5, which is probably the less, obviously is the less of this, but I just sort of needed a 5 name. Rod Brindamore.
Whoa.
I mean, I know
they're up 3-0.
I'm aware they're up 3-0. That doesn't mean diddly when the last few years you've been going to the Eastern Conference Finals and getting your butt spanked. So I could give a rip about him being 3-up on the Sens, who had to go on a hot streak to get in the playoffs. He's got to get at least a win or two. He's got to make this Eastern Conference Finals competitive. I think he's got a little bit of heat under his seat right now because eventually you have to prove more than, yeah, we're a great regular season team, but we just can't get to the big dance.
I get where you're coming from. I don't like it. Wouldn't have had it on my list. Get where you're coming from, though.
Yeah,
they're up 3-0. Like
I know they're up 3-0, but
I would not have had him on my list.
I could give a rip about the first round.
Oh, and well, you got to win the first to get to the second.
And if they end up blowing this lead, then he's got to be out.
No,
but this list is today.
I'm aware.
I'm
aware.
They have,
but sports is a fickle thing.
Goaltending. They play in a tough conference.
Shout out to Freddie Anderson.
I just do not think Brindamore is on the hot seat. Just my opinion.
No, hey.
Yeah. All right.
My number 5, Bush and McDavid, little pairing here. Listen, they're only number 5 because I think they're going to win this series in 5 games, and Connor McDavid's the best player in the world. But we got to call spades, and we got to be realistic here. In 2 games, Connor McDavid has no points, and that last game was the worst game we've ever seen from him. Evan Bouchard, listen, I thought you were one of the top 2 most deserving guys of the Norris Trophy this year, and you have not been good through the first 2 games. I think it's going to correct itself. I don't think it's anything to worry about in this series. Like I said, I'm picking them in 5 now. I originally picked them in 4. Now it's 5. But I do think there needs to be kind of a note on what we've seen from the first 2 games. You got to wrap it up. You got to kick into gear. They come in at my number 5.
Yeah. No, hey, not bad. My number 4, Jim Nill. Dallas Stars. I mean,
he's built quite the team.
I know he's built quite. Jason Robertson's going to be a free agent.
You're a hard marker.
He's a real hard marker.
I am a real hard marker.
They're up 2-1 in the series.
And then also,
they're up 2-1 in the series.
I could give a rip.
Okay.
I could give a rip. Honestly, like
Neil will be out of work 11 seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But like, sometimes you're a little too long at the fair. I know he was executive of the year last year. All these things, like, or general manager of the year, whatever.
That is a kiss of death, though. I do agree with you there.
But like, as good as the team is, it all comes down to results. And I get it; they can be up in this, but again, it's a Stanley Cup final showing or bust. Like that's the level that the Stars are looking for. And if they don't go there, maybe you got to look around and go, hey, you know what? We traded away Mikko Rantanen, or we traded for Mikko Rantanen. This is a great deal, but we're going to let a guy that should have been an Olympian, and Jason Robertson, led the league in goals for a long time, just like walk out the front door. And I haven't been able to get a successful team put out. So, Jim Nill, number 4.
Oh, you are harsh.
Don't worry, it definitely gets.
I disagree with both of your choices, which is unusual, but it's provocative.
Hey, that's fair. Maybe I was.
Oh, hey.
I was really trying to like game the system and like be too smart about it. Maybe that's where I'm coming from.
You disagree with mine?
No. He disagreed with my 5 and 4.
Yeah,
he disagreed with my 5
I apologize.
and 4.
I didn't say that very clearly.
No, that's all right. I got it.
My number 4, the LA Kings. You guys are playing Colorado tough, but you're playing your game and you're not winning. You're down 3. Like, do you want to throw this on Luc Robitaille now? Because Holland just got there. They have their interim head coach who just got there. Like, clearly what you do doesn't work. You know what? And there is something to be said for making the playoffs every year. I give you that, but it's about to be 5 years of a first round exit. Where I know they won the first 2 games last year. These 5 years haven't exactly been close. And yeah, you're getting to the dance. Sure, that's awesome. But boy, is it not working out for you. It's not winning hockey. You got to do something different. I don't know what has to change. Maybe it's Robitaille. I know he's got the 2 cups from way back. He's been there since 2007. It's not good. It's okay. It's not great. Strive to be great. LA Kings. Maybe Luc Robitaille. You're my number 4.
Ken Holland signed every old guy possible on July 1, and they're paying for it. That's it. And you're right. I don't know who the hot seat is. Not Holland, but maybe Robitaille.
Yeah, my number 3, Jalen Brunson. New York Knicks. They're down 2-1 to the Hawks right now, and if they come out lose this series, first of all, Knicks fans are going to blow an absolute gasket. I mean, like yesterday, that was a tough, 1 minute long video, essentially, of 3 terrible things happening to New York sports fans all in one go. But what it really comes down to with Jalen Brunson is if you really go back and think about it, and the main knock on Steph Curry and the Warriors was that your best player cannot be a short guard. Steph Curry obviously is they proved him wrong. Steph Curry is a statistical anomaly. I mean, the closest we've got is Shea. He's a 6'6" shooting guard. That's about it. Jalen Brunson is short. He's a defensive liability. And if he can't be he has to prove a lot this year. And the New York Knicks themselves have a lot to prove this year to go, oh yeah, he is the number 1 option on a championship caliber team. He's got a lot to prove this offseason, and being down 2-1 to the Knicks, where the opposing team's essentially best player this entire series is going out to the media and saying, I am hunting him every single matchup. Jalen Brunson, you got to put the backpack on, and if you're going to get hunted, you got to be willing to, on the offensive side of the ball, you got to do more.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is what we in the biz call parallel thought, because Jalen Brunson's also my number 3. I'll make it quick because Josh, you hear that dap?
That was clean.
I'll make it quick because Josh just said anything, but he's listed at 6'2". I don't even know if he might be 6 feet. Like
he might be 6 feet, maybe even 5'11". He is a small guy.
Real small. Beyond hunted defensively. And that minute stretch at the end there was so bad. Listen, this is what it's going to come down to, and this is why he's on the hot seat. And it's also, I want to give Jalen Brunson a little bit of credit because if you look at his numbers, like it's a nice look-in point per game total for the playoff. But when you watch the games, you realize what a liability he is defensively and how obviously last night he shrunk in the biggest moment when it mattered most a couple times back to back, by the way. Listen, Mikal Bridges also got traded for 5 first-round picks, was like 0 for 3 from the field, 20 minutes or something. That's not great. But Jalen, I don't know. I don't know if they can win with you, man. I don't know if they can win with you. Becky Hammond was right. There have been 2 small guards ever to lead their team to championships. Ever. I don't think Jalen Brunson can be the third, so you're number 3.
Yeah. Shout out. And Becky Hammond, my queen.
She called it.
She called it. She knows ball, and everyone told her she was wrong. So I expect to see all you Twitter warriors out there apologizing to her because she was right and you were wrong. My number 2, James Harden. James Harden. I mean, where do we even begin with James Harden? Hasn't been to the NBA championships, NBA finals. And what would this be now? 14 years?
He's played all year. It's a long year. You need a little time
He
off.
needs a little bit of time off. And evidently that always sort of lines up with end of May. He's like, you know what? I'm ready to take some time off here. He gets tired. He stops shooting the ball. He's like, you know what, guys, I'm out of this. You forced your way out of
everywhere.
Oklahoma City, Houston, Brooklyn, Philadelphia.
No,
I don't think he forced his. I'm not convinced he forced his way out of the Clippers organization. I'm not convinced, but also he might have, for all I know. Like, you keep moving to places that have good situations that are going to set you up to win. I mean, talk about the Sixers and Rockets and what Daryl Morey has done for you. I don't have to go through the entire history of that, but the fact that you have not been to I was about to say Stanley Cup Finals, an NBA Finals as a number 1 guy. And even this year, I would say number 2 guy behind Donovan Mitchell, who's I would say the best player on that Cavs team. It's like you need to do a lot.
And the thing is, he's such a, like, when he's on, he is such an impactful player.
He's such an impactful player, but he doesn't want to be the guy that gets blamed in the media after games, especially big games, if they lose. So what does he do? Stops putting up shots. He starts deferring to other guys. Now, granted, it was pretty bad in 2018. I thought they were going to beat the Warriors. Chris Paul goes down, and then like the momentum totally shifts. But that's also a knock on James Harden. Like, you're supposed to be the best. You should be one of, if not the best player in that series. I know you're playing up against the 2018 Warriors, which was an absolute joke of a team, but like James Harden, you're number 2 on hot seats right here.
My number 2, I had Kirill Kaprizov. Now, if you're just looking at box scores in the playoffs, his numbers actually look okay. A lot of that is because of that 6-1 drubbing in game 1. Like, my thing with Kirill is like health is kind of an issue. You're making $3 million a year more than Leon Draisaitl in terms of AAV. You got the highest AAV in the league. You're nowhere near the best player in the league. Never scored 50, no individual hardware. And now it's kind of like, hey, we brought in Quinn Hughes. We got A1 goalies. Fair enough. That series isn't over yet, but it's kind of getting to the point like, Kirill, like, let's kick into gear a little bit and let's get some hardware. Let's get some playoff series wins. Like, let's do something to help this team. He's not really doing it. Quite frankly, I don't think he's played great at all. So Kirill Kaprizov, you're my number 2.
And the hockey playoffs, it's a different animal. And some guys do not thrive. And some guys take a while to learn to thrive.
Yeah. And he's obviously a very talented player, but it's just at some point with those guys, you got to take it to the next level.
You can't be a perimeter player.
You're making
in the playoffs.
$3 million a year more than Leon Draisaitl. And the gap between you and Leon is pretty wide, Matt. Like, at some point, you got to kick it up and be in that upper echelon of player. And I like Kirill too, but I'm just saying.
No, I agree with everything you said.
Honorable mention here, Brady Tkachuk's trade value just has not looked good for the Sens at all.
That's a bad. That situation will end this summer, and they'll get 10 cents on the dollar.
They're gonna, because he is playing down his trade value. Anyways, that's just an honorable mention. Number 1, you got a nice little pairing here. Chris Knobloch and Stan Bowman.
Oh man,
you don't have them on the list?
You missed someone, but go ahead.
I missed someone.
This is going to be fun.
No. So listen, again, it's cup or bust. They might not have come out and said it, but that's the way it is. Cup or bust.
Wait a minute. We have to have a new phrase. We've had that one. Leon said that one 2 years ago.
That's still true.
It's still true. Like there is no new phrase. It is cup or bust. Like that is the way it is. And Chris Knobloch, I know we've talked about him here all year. Same with Stan Bowman and what are good moves he's made and what are bad moves he's made. And shout out to the Connor Ingram deal. That was fantastic. But then you trade for Jari and he hasn't been good. And then we sit here and we talk about Chris Knobloch and how the team has looked. And I remember the conversation. One of the times we're like, does Knobloch need to go? And we had the conversation of, well, he's a defensive head coach. And you said yes. And I said, then why is it every day we're in here talking about how bad the defense looks?
And they fixed it with coffee.
And that's a problem. That is a real problem. You're a defensive head coach and you had to bring in Paul Coffey, who you said, I don't need anymore, to come in and fix your defense.
Yeah. The rumor is that Coffey was frozen out. No.
Yeah. So this is like, that is ultimate hot seat, all this stuff. You have two of the four best players on the planet, maybe two of the best three. You have one of the best defenders, the defenseman in the league, in Evan Bouchard. He's going to be a Norris finalist this year. And you now have, by technicality, better goaltending than you had last year with Stuart Skinner in Connor Ingram. There is no excuse. And then Bowman, like the Jari deal, damning. The Frederick long-term signing, I know he's looking good now, but this is 8 years of Trent Frederick, and he did not look good to start the season.
They've had to start signing third and fourth line guys and third pairing guys to long-term deals that start with 3 or more.
Yep. Not quite as damning. Good trade for Jason Dickinson. Colton Doc Dickinson, I know, is a UFA this year, but like he's made some moves, but there needs to be more done. Anyways, that's my hot seat.
I like where you're coming from. Didn't have him. My number one by a country mile. Nikola the Ghost Jokic.
Oh, that's who we missed.
Because it's time. We're creating narratives and we're having conversations. His game last night, like you guys thought, because I'm assuming a lot of the listeners didn't watch the Nuggets Timberwolves game last night, which is fine. You guys thought a superstar in Connor McDavid had a bad game 2 nights ago. Nikola Jokic last night was that times 10. 7 of 26 from the field. Had Rudy Gobert looking like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Hakeem Olajuwon had a baby on offense. Had him looking like Wemby and Rudy Gobert and Hakeem had a baby on defense. Couldn't do anything. And there's some pretty scathing numbers about Jokic in the playoffs, and I'm not going to get into because we're not going to have time. But this was, without a doubt, I honestly think it was the worst superstar performance I've seen since 2011 LeBron in basketball from Nikola Jokic last night. And sure, it's one game or whatever, but guess what? This is becoming a running trend with Nikola Jokic because last year in an elimination game, you were minus 23 and down 25 going to the fourth quarter. Yeah. The year before that, you blew a 20-point second half lead in game 7 at home. So Nikola Jokic, your time is up. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, congratulations. It is your league now.
For 12 games.
Yeah, till next year when Wemby takes over. But yeah, Jokic, I know we're running out, so I'll wrap it up. Number 1 by a mile.
I just want to I'll play a little devil's advocate here.
There is none to play.
Yeah, there is. Worst game since the 2011 LeBron. Like that is the finals. This is game 3 of a series.
Yes, and that's a problem. You won your championship against 2 8 seeds, a 7 seed, and a 4 seed. And you've done nothing in the playoffs.
And also,
best
not like anyone else on the team was making a shot. No one else on the team was making a shot. The highest assists for a Nuggets player, 4. No one else was making any. That being said, the defense from him was atrocious. They gave up
was atrocious.
They gave up 68 points in the paint, and he was on the floor. I swear to God, for 50 of them. Like it was bad. They absolutely blitzed him. I've never seen a more simple motion. I've never seen a more simple motion offense run in an NBA game, particularly the NBA playoffs, that absolutely cooked the league's greatest player.
He looks like he was out of breath thinking about what to do on defense.
That's a thing that I said to Brandon this morning was, like when you look at someone and you can tell that like they're thinking and like they're thinking really hard. That's what you saw with Nikola Jokic yesterday. He had the ball and you're like, man, he is really, really thinking.
We probably should take a break.
Yes.
All right. Okay, on the way, Steve Lansky from Inside the Truck podcast, and more of your comments as we get you ready for the Oilers and the Ducks with Gregor's show at 2 o'clock and the pregame show with Andrew Walker coming up at 6. Lowdown with Lowetide brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube. It's time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors Inc. Floors done right for homes or businesses. Visit the new showroom, 11577 149th Street. It's open 6 days a week, Saturday hours from 10 to 2. And you can, of course, visit customfloorsinc.ca and bring your next flooring project to life. Edmonton Oilers in action tonight, taking on the Anaheim Ducks, 8 p.m. puck drop. That series tied 1-1, of course. The Lions and pairings from today's morning skate. McDavid centering Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl centering Podkolzin and Captain. Szymanski centering Savoy and Roslovich. And Lazar centering Doc and Frederick. D pairings stay the same. Ekin, Bush, Nurse and Murphy, and Wallman and Eberson with Connor Ingram in the starters net. Other games around the league, we'll see Tampa and Montreal at 5. That series tied 1-1, as is Vegas and Utah, and their puck will drop at 7:30. NBA playoffs get going at 5 with Boston and Philadelphia. At 6, we'll see the Lakers and Rockets, and at 8:30, San Antonio and Portland. San Antonio and Portland and Boston, Philadelphia both tied 1-1. LA leading the Rockets 2-0. MLB action will get going at 4:40 with the Tigers and the Reds. The Blue Jays will throw their first pitch at 5:07 as they play host to the Guardians. Scherzer on the mound in that one. No Sanderson for Ottawa in Game 4. He will be out with a concussion. And Slavkovsky and Anderson among those absent from the Canadiens' morning skate ahead of that game against the Lightning. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
For many families, the stress of divorce can throw your life out of balance. The loss of a relationship, ongoing conflict, mounting legal bills, and uncertainty about the future can feel overwhelming. Hi, I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. At Fairway, our team helps you restore balance through mediation, negotiation, and a unique step-by-step process. With 2 offices in Edmonton dedicated to serving your needs, our goal is simple: to help you navigate a path back to peace and clarity. Visit us today at Fairway Divorce.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
Professional golf is coming to Blackhawk Golf Club this fall. The ATV Classic, presented by Building Trades of Alberta, brings the stars of PGA Tour Americas to you. Enjoy the ATV Fan Zone, presented by Michelob Ultra, where golf meets festival vibes. Upgrade to VIP-covered terrace seating with premium food and beverage options. September 17th to 20th. Tickets start at just $25, and the first 250 buyers receive a PGA Tour Americas commemorative gift. Get yours at atvclassic.com.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit sports encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. wolfgmcbuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. It's Truck Month, featuring the best deals of the year. Ask about 0% financing plus extra discounts for Costco members. WolfGMCBuick.com. A little after 1 o'clock. Last couple of weeks, we've had a little bit of a issue with the video with Steve Lansky from Inside the Truck podcast. He was in Toronto, so he's moved to Don Mills for this take. So we're hoping it works out better now that he's closer to Edmonton. Mr. Lansky, how are you today?
I'm really good. How are you?
Good. You're staying. Where are you? By the way, I just made that up about Don Mills.
Yes, I'm no longer in Don Mills. I'm now in the beautiful town of Calgary in southern Alberta.
Calgary is a lovely city. There's no doubt. Did you fly out of Buttonville or did you go to Pearson?
No, I didn't even drive by Buttonville. I heard you mention it one time, and I thought I would drive there just take a picture of the outside. And I just got too busy doing stuff, as people do.
Important stuff, right?
Well, I thought lunch with my son and my wife or drive to Buttonville. I got to be honest with you. I made a pros and cons list, but it didn't play out the way you wanted, I don't think.
It's okay. I used to work for the Sifton family, and they owned the Buttonville airport at one time. It was just a little Muni airport that Cessnas would fly to. Is it bigger now?
No, the airport's the same size, but it's not on the outskirts of town like it used to be. It's right. You'd have to know where you'd drive past it and go, oh, wow, that was an airport. Boom. And you're just into more housing. Yeah.
There you go. So now are you home for a while? Because I know you're like a globetrot. It's like your schedule and David Bowie's when he was living or Paul McCartney's now are about the same.
David Bowie's schedule now, though, is much less congested. He does maybe it's more congested. I don't know. No, we're off on a road trip again next week, but this week we're here. So,
well, we have snow here, so if you're flying north, check out the weather forecast before you come.
Understood.
There you go. Well, the Edmonton Oilers won game one, although there was some wobble in the second period. Lost game two. I was, I just think Connor McDavid is such a great player, but when you're on the power play and you back pass in your own zone, and it ends up in the back of your net, you own that. That's your mistake and your issue. And we're 11 years into the NHL. He's a brilliant hockey player, but he's a little old to be making those mistakes.
You think? And I realize you can't ask this question, but I would like to know, what were you thinking? What were you thinking at that moment? Now everybody gets, violently upset when you ask the question, what were you thinking? But I really would like to know, what the hell were you thinking there? Were you thinking that you had a teammate there? Were you thinking, I'll just play it over here for fun? What were you thinking? Because it wasn't inconsequential. It was a huge goal for the Ducks. I don't get it, man. At some point, you just don't do that stuff anymore. Even if there's a gun to your head, you don't do that stuff.
Well, I also want to know where the defenseman was. It was the Oilers abandoned the zone, man. They can't wait to get out of their own zone, but just wait a heartbeat. Somebody back there might have helped that play. I think the power play is also ghastly, and I think there's a little stubbornness there. This is a veteran group, and they've been studied and studied and studied some more. So and credit to Anaheim, they've got a veteran coach. He has said, okay, they're going to have the shot from Leon down low, and they're going to have McDavid, scooting around and making that quick move where he goes to the outside, and we're going to defend all those things, and they're doing it. So the power play for me right now is watching Edmonton pass the puck.
So I think Joel Quenneville, maybe we can all agree, has done some dumb things, but he's no dummy. And you're right. When you go to the Stanley Cup final twice, people start to figure out how many tricks this pony has. And it's funny because I was talking to somebody this morning over coffee, and they said, it's like this every year. The first round starts, and it's like, we should be doing X, Y, Z, and we're only doing X. And I don't understand that, but I must admit, and this is only mildly concerning to me, it's become normalized for me to watch this and go, yeah, they're not going to win tonight. They'll win tomorrow, but then they're not going to win the next night. And I'm like, what even is that? It can't be that you don't want to win, and it can't be that you don't understand what to do to win. So I don't get it. I just don't, and I'm sick and tired of looking at the Oilers and saying, I don't get it. But I don't have an answer. And you said the power play. Yeah, I don't think 97's at full. I don't think 97's anywhere near at full. And I hope it's not going to get worse before it gets better.
Well, we'll see. And I mean, there was that, ankle tweak or knee tweak or whatever it was, and they said it was fine, but fine in the NHL playoffs doesn't exactly mean fine. I really like the second line. I find myself really cheering for that kid Szymanski when he scored. I was delighted for him. And young players, if they end up not getting to the final this year, what you're hoping is young players like Savoy and Szymanski, and maybe even Podkolzin, and others, Emerson, they make the step forward. Savoy is checking down from the top line. Nuge is moving up, and then Savoy's on the third line. For me, that might, it's hard for a rookie to come in, especially a smaller skill guy, and have him impact a series. Maybe it's better for Savoy to go to the third line and make some noise there.
I think it depends what series you're coming into and what teammates you're coming into that series with. I think when you look at the Oilers back in the 80s and Tikkanen got dropped in the Stanley Cup final, there's other players that I'm forgetting at the moment that happened to. I think it depends what team you're going on to, and I think it depends what's going on in that room. But I would never not advocate against giving these guys a chance because, the regular season is charming. It's a charming little thing they do for, 5 months, whatever it is. But the Stanley Cup playoffs are all that matters. So that's where you want to get people the experience. Wow, this means a lot. Wow, the pace is picked up. Wow, there's a lot more hitting. That's the experience I think you want players to get, and you're only going to get that in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, that's all fair. I wonder about, it's, I quoted Megan Chayka in the first hour. She had a tweet out that said McDavid went scoreless the first two games of the playoffs. He only did it one other time last season, or the regular season, January 20 and 26. I sense McDavid will break out. Your comments about him not being 100% are interesting. What about Evan Bouchard, who also has not posted any points in the first two games and has had a little wobble defensively? There's a guy that may want to step up tonight as well. Fair?
Yes, but like we talked about before, if you're the Ducks, do you not just, I wouldn't say target these three guys, but do you not have binoculars on Draisaitl, McDavid, and Bouchard? And to be honest with you, you could make the argument, if the other guys beat us, the other guys beat us, but the other guys aren't going to beat us. I mean, I can see that discussion happening if you're in the Anaheim room. Listen, if we focus on these three guys, the other 17 guys are not going to beat us unless Connor Ingram plays insane or unless somebody just comes out of nowhere and, is a 4 or 5 goal game. I don't think it's going to happen. So, and I do remember back in the day, and this is a talk among defensemen over the years, and I remember them sending the puck into Paul Coffey's corner, and I remember them saying, he can't get out of his corner with the puck. So we're just going to, I can't remember which team it was. Could have been the Flyers. You probably remember. They can't get out of I think they did the same thing with Dennis Potvin. We're going to target him. We're going to hit him every time he can with the Islanders. And then at some point, he's not going to be able to succeed. Well, it's not that hard to figure out how to manipulate's not a great word, but I'm going to use it. How to manipulate a guy like Evan Bouchard or Paul Coffey or Dennis Potvin. You figure out what their weak spot is, and you just keep playing to it. It's like basketball. He can't go to his left. Well, no problem. Make him go to his left. That's gonna work forever.
I think their weakness might be supreme confidence because they've had success and they are frustrated by not winning a Stanley Cup. But this is a passing team. I remember the old Montreal Canadiens. They were a passing team too. And if you didn't pass smartly for Scotty Bowman, you didn't play. And it didn't really matter, if you were famous or not. He benched Guy Lafleur, in his first couple of years when he wasn't playing well. And the more this becomes an issue where they have not passed well. They really have not in this series. And there's two things that can beat a team quickly: speed and tape-to-tape passes. Because, you can put the puck in the corner all you want. If it can be retrieved, moved quickly, then you're all of a sudden you're behind and you're hauling ass. The Oilers can take advantage of their speed and their skill, but they're not doing it enough. And I think the game plan is good, but their passing has been horrendous. And that's a skill play. They need to tighten that up because they are skilled players.
I think that's legit. But you were talking about Scotty Bowman with bench Guy Lafleur. You don't actually think Knobber would have the stones to tape Bouchard's ass to the bench for a period, do you? Like, there's no chance. I think those days are long gone, which is too bad because I think that's how the message gets in, but the message doesn't seem to be getting in. And I'm just picking Bouchard specifically in general. I don't understand how at this point, when you played so many, I'd have to look it up, 46 playoff games in the last 2 years, maybe something like that, 3 years. The message isn't in yet. Like, these are the keys to us winning. Go out, repeat, rinse, lather, repeat, get to the Stanley Cup final again. The turnover hasn't been that big. Like, it's got to be there. But I think we're going to find out that McDavid isn't where he needs to be. I didn't see the burst of speed. I'm going to watch real close tonight. I think that's a story that maybe deserves a little more scrutiny.
Yeah, and skating is such a weird thing, right? You can have great straightaway speed, but you can't turn or whatever. There's a lot that goes into it. Do the Oilers beat Anaheim in this series?
Wow. I know this is radio silence is death. I'm going to say yes, but if you told me no, I would not have much trouble putting my money on that square. But I'm going to say yes because I think they're going to figure it out in 7 games.
Do the Montreal Canadiens have a better chance of beating Tampa Bay than the Oilers have a chance of beating Anaheim?
Yes. I think Montreal will beat Tampa Bay. I mean, that would have been a lock if they'd have scored in overtime in game 2.
I'm shocked by that series. I had Tampa Bay going to the Final Four.
Not me. I'm not shocked at all. They had the same number of points, dude. So I'm not shocked at all. Montreal's got youth. They've got exuberance. They've got all those things they need. And Tampa Bay kind of looks a little bit old to me in some ways. Like, not Islanders old in 1984, but old compared to Caulfield and Slafkovsky and Dobesh. And, like, they're not striking me as a champion. And I thought going in, they got the same number of points. I get Montreal doesn't have home ice, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. I'm still not sure it's going to matter.
I feel like Ottawa is like already broken, and Tkachuk's going to be playing for an American team in the fall. Carolina is up 3 Cobb. Is there any way they can get back in this series?
No, not a chance. Ottawa's completely done. And, good for Carolina because they'll get, a week off. Or maybe not, but I wouldn't say Freddie Anderson has been winning this series, so I'm not sure that matters. Right now, if you say I got to put all my chips on, I would put my chips on Carolina and Colorado in the Stanley Cup final. That can change, obviously, but Carolina's a pretty good hockey team, top to bottom.
So the final one I want to talk about in the NHL is and I've seen this before. I really have. It's rare that a team ends their run in a great way. And it's rare that a great player, skates away. I guess Beliveau did in 71 with the Stanley Cup victory and the accolades of everyone. And we all remember him like I don't remember Sandy Koufax, but the people who do always talk about him going away from the game too early. Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins are down 3-0 to an upstart Philadelphia Flyers team. There are a lot of famous Hall of Famers on that Penguins team. Is this the last hurrah for that group?
100%. Absolutely. I would give serious thought if I was any of them about coming back. Like, you want to do the whole rebuild thing. I will throw in Ken Dryden as one of your 3. Yes. Kenny Dryden quit after 4 Stanley Cups. I mean, he'd already quit once already, but to me, he went out perfectly on top. I thought that guy's career was maybe the best career ever arc that I've ever seen. No,
You're hurting me with this. You know that. You remember 1971, don't you? When they beat the Boston Bruins?
Montreal beat the Boston Bruins in 1970.
I'm coming over there. I'm coming down there.
I have no. Oh no! Wait a minute. The Bruins might have been the defending Stanley Cup champions. It's coming back to me now. And then Ken Dryden came up, played 6 regular season games. Yes, it's coming to me now. I believe he did stone them, and then stone Jim Pappen in the Stanley Cup final with that famous save. And then Montreal did win that Stanley Cup. That's right. He was a rookie. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah,
Do
that's
you
right.
know that? Do you
Yeah.
know that the team that the surprising team they had trouble with that year was the Minnesota North Stars, and the North Stars had like Ted Harris and Gump Worsley and a bunch of guys who were former Montreal Canadiens, and they damn near beat Montreal, and the Montreal hammered the Bruins and hammered the Hawks. Well, we won in 7 against the Hawks.
Yeah, everybody's got a stumbling block, but I don't remember those Montreal Canadiens having too many stumbling blocks. And I swear to God, if Freddie the Fog hadn't figured out how to get the Flyers to win in 74 and 75, Montreal would have 2 more Stanley Cups in there because the Flyers just intimidated their way to 2 Stanley Cups, which is great. But when they figured it out in 1976, even though Reggie Leach got 19 goals, Montreal swept them in the Stanley Cup final. So it was like Montreal said, "Okay, that's the end of this crap. We're going back to winning 4 in a row." No, I think the Pens are done. Crosby's done. It's done. It's over, man.
Yeah, I tend to agree. The Flyers had like 3 pure skill guys: Leach, McLeish, and Tom Bladen, and then everybody. Clark was a complete player, but everybody else was like, Dave Schultz was a fearsome guy. Like I read a quote from a guy named Peter Laframboise who said, he was on the ice and he saw Schultz and he's like, "What in hell am I doing here?" Like it was like a boxing match.
Don't forget number 1. They also had Bernie Perrant.
Oh, well, Bernie was like, they could take
like-
so many penalties because Bernie Perrant stopped everything.
Oh my God. It's like, if you went back and watched that, I mean, I realize the size of the pads are different and everything like that, but oh my God, Bernie Perrant was insane. He stopped more pucks. When you have a goalie like that, it's almost impossible to lose. And I'll tell you what, if you said to me, I know everybody loves Mark Messier, but if you said you're one captain that you can have, I might be going to Bobby Clark.
He was a great captain, there's no doubt. And I cheered when they slashed Harlamov. I don't say that with pride, but I did. I wanted Canada to beat Russia. Didn't they used to say about Bernie Perrant, Jesus saves, but Bernie Perrant saves one more?
I think that was the sign man. Remember the sign man in Philadelphia? Oh God, I love that. And he would hold up the sign. Oh, it was the best, wasn't it? It was the best. Start the bus, and he'd hold the sign up or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I can't remember that guy's name, but oh man, I loved him at the Spectrum.
I did too, and they should bring that back because he was very funny and he made you laugh.
I thought that the other night. Why don't they just have a new sign man there? It's kind of a no-brainer.
Exactly, and people will get after it and they'll love it and they'll make suggestions and it'll be even better. Lansky, you rock. Have a great weekend, man.
Thanks, man. You too.
All right, Steve Lansky, Inside the Truck Podcast. I cut him off. I apologize to him. Great guy. 118. We're going to set up with the lines and the pairings and expectations. We're going to set up the Edmonton Oilers, Anaheim Ducks. Huge game 3. This is a big one because you're tied at 1. You win tonight, and then all of a sudden, the other team, the team that loses, they're like, oh, God, we got to win game 4. Otherwise, we'll be 1 game away from being eliminated. We'll talk about that next. Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our number.
Taylor Hall. Hall fans on a pass. Gets it back. Miller feeds Blake. They score! The Hurricanes respond and retake the lead. Jackson Blake. 2-1 Carolina.
It's after the Sens have scored. Look at this Hall.
Comes to Byram. Middle of the ice for Krebs. Saka got on him in a hurry. Now it's Tuck with a shot. He scores! Tuck has put the Sabres ahead.
Defenseman Lindholm falling in front of the goaltender. I believe.
offensively, and Dyson Daniels has been the best defender on Brunson.
The Hawks stole one in game 2. It's down to the wire here in game 3. 7 seconds left. Brunson with the ball. Brunson makes his move. Brunson on the baseline. Hawks got to track it down. Atlanta takes a 2-1 lead in the series.
Offensively, and Dyson.
He knows all about the Expos and Oilers. It's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Edmonton's Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. By the way, our headliner of the day, Steve Lansky, brought to you by Faber Licensed Insolvency Trustees. Playoff season is here, and the last thing you need is debt stealing the thrill. A free consultation with a local Faber Licensed Insolvency Trustee could be the turning point. Visit faber.ca. So, the lines and pairings are out. This is via Tony Brar, who does great work for the Edmonton Oilers. McDavid with Nuge moving up, and Zach Hyman. Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Kapanen. Szymanski with Savoy and Roslovic. So Savoy checks down to a line that scored a goal the other night, the Szymanski goal. Lazar with Doc and Frederick. And that means, obviously, Jason Dickinson not in the lineup. And, of course, Adam Henrique not in the lineup. So you can game plan as much as you want and give Stan Bowman credit. He built up the middle. He had McDavid, Draisaitl, possibly Nuge. And then he also had, young Szymanski. He already had Lazar and Henrique. And he did bring in Dickinson. And now Henrique and Dickinson, two of the veteran pivots, are injured, unable to play. My understanding was that Dickinson did make the trip. Maybe he'll play in Game 4. And that Adam Henrique is a little farther away. Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Murphy, Wallman with Emberson, and Ingram with Jarry. That's the way it's going to go. A lot of people are kind of saying that Nuge doesn't deserve a trip up the depth chart. And I think, with respect, that's probably not the way to look at it. I've argued with people for a long time about, they'll say, well, he's a rookie. He doesn't deserve to be there. Well, it's not really, we're not talking about rewarding someone. We're talking about, giving your team the best chance to win. And you can feel like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is not playing well. I think he's not 100%, but that's not, that's not news. lots and lots and lots and lots of players are not 100% at this time of year. But if I honestly, I'll be honest with you, I would have kept Savoy on the top line. That's how I feel. But they have had success with this line, with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman playing on the wing and Connor McDavid in the middle. And I think this is, in a way, a little bit of homage to the Draisaitl line. They do not want to upset that line because that line is capable of winning the game. That's a real positive. But in the last 2 years, Nuge and Hyman with McDavid have played over 700 minutes together. That's a lot of time at 5-on-5. They have a 51% goal share and a 58% expected goal share. There's sometimes gaps between expected and actual. Goaltending gets accused of being the issue, but they've been a successful line. I don't think that anybody should be upset about Nugent Hopkins getting that opportunity. He certainly earned it and proved it. If it doesn't work, they'll make a move. But I would not have made the move. I would have kept time in there on the top line. That's me, not a coach. I am encouraged that they left the Draisaitl line intact. And I'm hoping that they use the combination at 5-on-5 of Doc and Frederick more. That duo on the wing, I think they played a total of I think it's 10 minutes or so in 2 games, like 5 minutes a game. They don't play much together. And remember, down the stretch, they were playing far more than that. And you can get mad at the coach all you want, but Henrique got hurt, and then you're playing catch up, right? You're trying to find minutes for those guys, and you've got to shuffle whoever's going to be the center on the line is going to be double shift. So that has its own problems. But yeah, they played 10-51 in the 2 games, and their shot share is 67%. There are no goals, and their expected goals is 44%. Scoring chance is 71%. High dangers at 50%. And they're hitting everything in sight. And they're you when you start a series, you're like, that fourth line's going to get in there, but they're not playing much. So we're already in game 3, and they played less than 11 minutes. I understand this injury. I'm not calling out the coach. Maybe we can call it unfortunate, but that is an issue as we go forward. And maybe Jason Krueger will talk about it, and maybe Andrew Walker will talk about it, and we'll see. By the way, this is not sure the source, but Atkins saying that Jeff Hoffman is not the primary closer now. So Josh will be happy.
Jeff Hoffman, probably still a better pitcher than anyone that the Angels have in their bullpen. So, they need someone to take Jeff Hoffman off their hands.
Boy, Reed Detmers is pitching well for them. Former reliever, now a starter.
That's right. Starter. Got some real problems with this Angels bullpen, ladies and gentlemen. Real problems.
The Angels are like a team who are they're 65% good. But the things they're not good at are just galling, Like I saw Kikuchi the other day. He said, "Yeah, I've been throwing the ball wrong." Well, who's helping these pitchers? Like, I'm at my release point. I'm back now. We're 2 months into the year. Well, not really. A month and a half into the year. Does anybody go over video over there?
No, I don't. I actually think they don't have a video room. I thought that was a thing that came out in the offseason, was that they did not have a full-fledged video room.
But if Larry's struggling, the first thing you look at is, okay, let's look at what was happening when he was good and what's he doing differently.
But how can you do that without a film room?
Well, if they gave you that assignment, you'd figure out a way to get it done at home.
What, a film room? I mean, I guess so.
Well,
yeah, like I'd have to
angle,
like, hey man, your release, this is 2 degrees. You're 2 degrees wider on your release than you are when you were good,
man.
You know
what they did? Yankees have a really good system. I think it's Will Warren, one of their starters. They had him move from one part of the rubber to the other, and the angle has improved his pitches. That's the kind of innovative thinking the Anaheim Angels
Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim?
Yeah, I can't get into that. I'm still calling them the California Angels. Bobby Grich is still their second baseman, as far as I know. He was a hell of a player. He had a mustache on him. Holy.
The people love a mustache.
Yeah, did you see the guy? He had I can't say the word, but it rhymes with corn, mustache. The Red Sox pitcher last night, Peyton Tolley.
I did not, but that's often not. That's not a rare sight, particularly for us here in Alberta, and me particularly being a 22-year-old man. Lots of my friends, me included, cannot grow facial hair, but they try their darndest. My best friend in the world has a corn stash, no doubt about it.
So, like, are you, like, could you grow one?
No, I mean, like, no, not even close.
Is it because you don't shave?
No, I shave.
Do you?
I do. I just don't shave with like a straight razor anymore.
You do a little buzzy.
Yeah,
machine?
I just keep I keep some stubble on me to maybe look a little more adult. But aside from that, like, I just don't go in there with the razor anymore.
See, but I don't think looking adult works for you because sooner or later you're going to talk.
I sound relatively adult. My lexicon might not be very adult, but
I'm just teasing.
Lexicon, big word.
I was just gonna say the fact you use lexicon.
One of my favorite
pretty
words. One of my favorite
verbiage is a big one for me. I like verbiage. Also, can we just really quickly? Can we shout out Lance?
Dude, how long? How long is this now?
18 hours. So Lowetide, just to catch you up, Lance was texting into the morning show. He said, listening live from the traffic jam, I've been stuck for 12 hours just outside of Fort
I saw
McMurray.
this.
I believe it's 3 accidents. Rumors one is a fire truck. I have not moved an inch since 7:22 last night. He texted that in at 7 in the morning. He's been updating throughout the show, throughout
Lance.
the day. They're up to 18 hours. A helicopter has brought in gas cans. I'm curious if he slept at all.
What about food and drink?
No, he's
had a drink. I follow him on Instagram. He found a Pepsi cream soda in his bag.
He says, I fell asleep for a while around 2 a.m. This is horrible. Where is this?
18 hours,
right
food, water. Like, what are we?
Right
this is
outside Fort
crazy.
Mac.
What about the bathroom?
That's what my main concern is, mostly regarding number 2, because I'm not really that worried about number 1.
So is this Highway 2?
I don't
highway. I don't go at the Fort Mac.
I had the tab open too because I was keeping
joke.
up on it.
Oh
but,
man, that's so good, Lowetide. I can't believe we blitzed past that. But I'm serious. I was like, if you're not sleeping and you've all been in your car for 18 hours, then you just got to drive again, and you're dehydrated. Like,
but also, what if he's on the way to a job interview? Nobody's going to believe him.
He's coming back from Fort Mac. So, what I saw this morning was on the 511 Alberta, is that the whole highway was closed, and I was like, "This is bad."
You know,
really bad.
I've heard of stories like on the LA freeway where you're like 9 hours, but
I read a story once. A highway in China was shut down for 4 days because.
So you just start living there.
They brought in like food and stuff. Yeah. Lance, man, I'm with. I hope you're okay.
Lance,
we're all
you
feeling for
are absolutely the person of the week. It does you no good. So, like, they got gas, right? And they're getting food and water.
Well, they're getting gas right now.
You can't go a long time without sustenance.
Mrs. Fenwick is here. I'll be right back.
What?
Fair play to the man. He just got up and left. Got to respect that.
Well, I mean, when he said Mrs. Fenwick, his mom is here?
Yeah, it must be.
Okay.
How funny would it be if it was like his aunt?
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, it's like when your aunt came in, right? Right? Yeah. And I know her from, like, I've known her for decades, and I didn't know that she was related to you. And I'm like, oh, you know Declan? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, you don't even tell me that, and I'm your grandpa, apparently.
Honorary Gramps.
Wow. You'd think you'd probably. Lance says, I'll ask when the helicopter guys get to me. This is crazy, man. This is absolutely nuts. I can't believe And it's in Alberta. Must be a terrible accident.
It has to be multiple bad accidents.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we're burying the lead on how crazy this is. He's been there 18 hours.
It's bad. Like, it is bad.
Is that your mom?
That is my mom. And guess what she brought? Cookies for us.
Oh, wow. How come she's outside waiting?
Well, because we're on air right now.
But we could bring her in and give her a microphone and
here, Mom, come
have
on,
her
Mom.
tell a story about you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much for the cookies. Can you walk over to that microphone? We just want to say hello to you. Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes.
You have a great son, by the way. And I'm a big fan of your husband.
Me too.
There you go. So you're up to supply cookies to the staff and you're visiting and making sure that...
Moving our daughter home for her first year of university.
Okay, so she's done now.
She's done. Yeah.
How did she do? Did she do okay?
She did.
It's very expensive. You know, they have to do well.
It is very expensive.
Yeah.
And we had no doubt that she would do well. So
Okay, so high achiever.
she's the smartest one.
Right. I think Josh heard you, but he probably
knows.
knows that.
Josh knows.
She's a very high achiever.
Yeah.
Um,
They all have their strengths.
Right.
And our weaknesses.
Let me ask you
particularly
what you think of your son on the radio. He does a very good job.
He does an excellent job.
Yeah, very proud of him.
I am very proud of him.
I will tell you this, and Declan over here is going to say something, but he is an absolute, he's a genius with the computer and cutting up tape and making it look good.
It's his generation.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, people, not so much, but, video.
Yeah.
They're good at.
He's good at that.
Yeah. Now, are you taking him out for lunch?
I don't know what we're doing actually.
I thought maybe we were going out for dinner tonight, but
We might. We're going to Jeff's.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Can I come?
Yes, you can come.
Oh boy.
Is Jeff's the clean place?
Jeff has the baby.
Oh.
And we all love Jeff. Actually, he works here. We saw him earlier.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
So
a nice little, how old's the baby?
she is 9 months old. She's going to be 1 in June.
So this is the great holding the baby period.
Great. Yes. I haven't seen her since she was a couple of months old, but when my babies are like,
This age.
this age,
Right.
any baby snuggle is nice to have.
It's the powder, it's the cleanliness, it's just the sweetness of them, right?
It's the lack of judgment. It's they're just so nice still.
Yeah, they are. They don't talk back.
No,
And if they spit up, it's not that big a deal.
it's not my problem either.
Well, you're a delight.
Thank you.
Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for the
You're
cookies.
welcome. It's nice to meet you guys.
Very nice
I
to meet
listen
you.
to you often. You guys are my #1 podcast.
Oh, bless you for that. All right, we'll take a break. And coming up, we'll probably talk about what she just said and then break it down and then relate it to the Edmonton Oilers game. Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Business owners, if rising electricity costs are cutting into your profits, there's a smarter way forward. Right now, federal clean technology tax credits can cover 30 to over 50% of the cost of a commercial solar system, delivering an immediate return on your investment. And in Edmonton and Sturgeon County, the Commercial Clean Energy Improvement Program offers long-term financing for up to 20 years, making solar more affordable than ever. Lock in lower energy costs for decades and strengthen your bottom line. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com to get started.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
At Booster Juice, doing good tastes really good too. From now until April 26th, every purchase of a Mood Booster Ball will help support the Community Booster Fund. So while you're enjoying a mood, Booster Ball made with caramel, marshmallows, and peanut butter. You're also supporting athletics, community, and educational initiatives across Canada. Let's fuel healthy communities together. For more information, please visit boosterjuice.com. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
This May, look for your census letter in the mail. The information you provide helps plan services in your community that support employment, transit, education, healthcare, and more. It's easy to fill out and completely confidential. Find out more at census.gc.ca. Your census, your community, our future. A message from the Government of Canada.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 at 144, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. We want to thank Mrs. Fenwick for dropping by with cookies by George. Very good.
Lovely lady.
Very nice.
Lovely lady.
Yeah. I've met just 4 of the Fenwicks now.
Yeah, you're just missing my brother, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. And he's the smart. No, who's the smart one? Your sister?
My sister is the smart one.
Right.
Of the children.
Right. So would you be number 2 or?
I'm number 3, no doubt.
Okay. But are you the youngest?
I'm the middle child.
Okay. And was that a problem for you?
Being the middle child? Absolutely.
Right. Because
they don't get a lot of love.
Overachiever, you overachiever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have 2 siblings?
Yeah, I have an older brother and a younger sister.
Okay.
How much older is your brother?
4 years.
Okay. My brother was 4 years older too. So he was more like he kind of sort of drove everything, right? Like conversation wise, fun wise, playing game videos.
Definitely, like when we were younger, in our our older ages now, that's more me because I chose this career. So there's a lot more conversation involved, even though my social battery might be drained at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah, there is that thing where at the end of your day, you go home and your person wants to talk and you're like, I've been talking all day.
Well, so yeah, so here's my problem, particularly like being a bartender too. When I was doing the old double dip here, that's why I was so tired. Like your social battery drains so fast. But then when you're going to serve for 8 hours or whatever, and maybe for 4 of those hours, it's not very busy. Like you get tired.
Are you able to build up a buffer? Like, what do you do to kind of chill and build your battery back up?
Beer.
Okay. Hey, whatever works, man.
Yeah.
Jay and Victoria have no radio service. Spotty cell on the road. Is Dickinson in or out? Based on the lines we just saw, he is out. Also, are we like, am I starting to be worried about Lance here? Like, does he have like gas and water, and is he being fed, and does he have washroom facilities?
Lance? Yeah, he has a car. He has his Kia Soul or whatever it is he's driving.
Lance, text in and answer for us. Let us know, man. Because bathroom. Like, what are we doing here? And what's the temperature? Because snow is one thing, but like frigid cold, like, that's another.
Is he running out? Like this is. I'm concerned. I know they have people there. I know they're getting. Some people are getting stuff, but it's probably a long, line of traffic, and you give people food until you run out.
Yeah. Well, that's just what happened with gas. It sounds like.
Yeah. How they handle this in the 50s?
How would they handle this in the 50s? This probably wasn't that big a deal in the 50s because not everyone had a car.
Yeah. Probably walk to a farmhouse and get treated like you were a king. That's what would happen.
Yeah. I don't know, 100 years ago.
I didn't live in the 50s, but I lived in the 60s. And, if you broke down in Saskatchewan in the 60s, you were well treated. I'm just saying.
That still happens now. Like, let's not say that doesn't happen now. Oh, interesting. Like my godfather, he every once in a while will send us emails titled his good clean living, which is just his way of saying good karma. But this last summer, something on their tent trailer broke, and so they pull into a campground that has a mechanics shop closed, whatever. Guys walk over as he's checking out to see what's wrong. Like, hey, what's going on? We actually work there. It's like, oh yeah, well, I think this is what happened. They look at it. They're like, oh yeah, we could fix that tonight, actually. Yeah. It's like, cool. How much is that going to run me? They're like, oh, I think it was like the whole rear axle. They're like, we have $400. Yeah. Like, oh, okay, perfect. Start the car.
Best deal ever.
and then they replaced it, and he got back on the road as he was like, 4 hours away from the city of Edmonton or whatever. So
instead of being stranded, he got a hell of a deal, and everything
got
works.
A hell of a deal from some really nice people who, weren't working anymore. And then we're like, hey, you know what, man? We can help you out. We see you're having some troubles. It's still a thing that happens.
Yeah, it is. People are generally good. I know that everybody's mad at everybody else right now. And I get it. I know that, when you get together with family, there's like, fractures and stuff. And I hate it. I genuinely hate it. But people are generally speaking good. There's a lot of anger, but I think it comes from a small percentage of the people out there. JMO, as the kids say. I'm okay, boys. I made a nest out of all the clothes in my suitcase. I turn on the truck every 3 hours to warm the bones. More just keeping people updated. Hope the road clears in time for the Oilers game. Oh, Lance.
That is a true fan.
God. I swear to you, I would be whimpering like a puppy right now if I was in his situation.
He sounds pretty calm.
Save me. I'd be calling everybody.
He sounds pretty calm right now. If this were me in this situation, I'd be yelling at like every flake of snow.
No, absolutely.
With a lot of expletives.
Yeah. Declan would strip naked and start waving down traffic till he got a Winnebago that he could, get into.
I'd probably just redo my top 100 NBA players of all time in my head.
in your head.
That actually is something I can see you doing during a calamitous time like that.
Yeah, just like practice for if I ever get the Rosillo call.
What's the worst situation you've been in? Like, we're not making fun in any way. I am actually genuinely concerned here for Lance. But have you ever been in a situation like that?
I'm trying to think.
Not one as bad as this, obviously. Like, I've never been.
I will tell you one of the things that has happened to me years ago when I was young and I was driving a car that was not roadworthy. I was at I made money for my wedding in the early 80s by doing dances. And I'd take these speakers out and I put them in the back of the car. And then I had 2 turntables and a bunch of cassettes, and I'd play music, and we'd go to Quonset huts, or, we did one above the bowling alley in Sylvan Lake. There's a lot of things that I did, and, it was reasonable money. But you ended up like the dance would end, and then you'd put all the equipment away, and the people who had rented the hall, they'd close it up and they'd drive off. So I was the last car in the whole parking lot. There's nobody around for miles, rural area, and my car wouldn't start.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and I am not a car guy. So I opened up the hood and I jiggled around some stuff, and I disconnected the battery for 10 minutes, put it back, and it started. And then I didn't stop. I just drove right home.
That's good. I think the worst situation like that I've ever been in, it's not been since I started driving. When I was a kid, we were definitely coming back from somewhere in BC, and
I think that's mine too.
Fires were going on, and so it was me, my dad, my sister, and my brother, and my mom all driving. And so the highway that takes you from like Radium all the way to like Banff was closed because of these fires. And then we decided it was like, okay, well, you have to go to Golden, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then that road got shut down because of fires. But we were so hungry.
Yeah.
And, I feel bad for my parents. Like, we're 3 rambunctious children sitting in the back seat. Teenagers, actually, which makes it worse because, we get hangrier quicker.
Yeah.
And so we stop in at Subway. And they're
you
like,
ate the whole store.
They're like, guys, sorry, we're out of lettuce. And the line is huge. This line is huge. They're out of lettuce and cheese. And so we get in there, we're like, oh, damn. And so we just get back in the car and try to find a spot in Golden really quick where we can pick up any form of food and then like continue on. We got to McDonald's. They're like, we're also out of cheese. We're like, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll take whatever you got.
Yeah.
Well, they're out of cheese because everybody's in town. The population has increased, threefold or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
So anyways, that's the worst one. I think we were in the car for like 8 hours or something.
Brandon says, we're just going to skip right over Lowetide being a go-go dancer in the 80s. Never happened. But that would be the sorriest go-go place ever if that had occurred. All right. Well, this was a really great last segment. We got to, the second last segment, we meet your mom and your sister.
Classic.
That was great. We find out about you. All kinds of details we'll bug you about for the next decade.
Yeah, that my sister's smarter than me. I feel like I've been pretty open about that.
That's a theme on this show.
Declan's sister is way smarter than he is. I don't have a sister.
Future prime minister.
All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Gregor on the way. Don't forget about Walker in the pregame at 6. Please enjoy your weekend.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly, 780-265-0165. Edmonton Oilers action, of course, tonight as they take on Anaheim. That series tied 1-1. 8 p.m. puck drop. The lines and pairings from the morning skate are as follows. McDavid centering Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Podkolzin with Draisaitl and Kapanen. Savoy with Szymanski and Roslovich. Szymanski centering the line. And Lazar centering Doc and Frederick. D pairings as per usual. Eck and Bush, Nurse and Murphy, and Wallman and Emerson. Connor Ingram in the starters net. Other games around the NHL, we'll see Tampa and Montreal get going at 5 and Vegas and Utah at 7:30. Both those series tied at 1-1. In the NBA, Boston and Philly at 5 o'clock. San Antonio and Portland at 8:30. Both those series tied at 1-1. And the LA Lakers will be on the road to take on Houston as they lead that series 2-0, 6 p.m. tip. MLB action gets going at 4:40 with the Tigers and the Reds. The Toronto Blue Jays also in action, playing host to the Cleveland Guardians. 5:07 first pitch for that one. Scherzer on the bump for the Jays. There will be no Sanderson in Game 4 for the Sens, ruled out with a concussion, and no Slavkovsky or Anderson on the ice for the Canadiens in morning skate. Carlos Alcaraz also won't defend his Roland Garros title due to a wrist injury. I'm Declan Krueger. Up next is the Jason Greger Show, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440.